As we've been reporting, it's now 6 months since Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines, and while much of the media attention in its wake centred on Tacloban province, many surrounding towns also felt its fury.
In the small coastal town of Hernani in eastern Samar, it was the storm surge after Haiyan that caused most of the devastation and death. The community there is still rebuilding, but the road to recovery is a long and slow one, as Kesha West reports.
It was in the early hours of the morning when Hernani was hit by a massive storm surge. Amateur footage shows its force and the giant waves. The powerful surge washes away everything in its path.
I feel the motion, the movement of our house. Every time the wave hits, I hear the voice of my nieces and my nephew. They're asking for help, but we don't have any choice. We don't have stairs to go down to help them.
Jerry Lynn is 15. She and her family survived. Her niece wasn't so lucky.
The last voice that I had heard was the voice of my niece. Sad to say, she passed away.
37-year-old Girali and her husband took refuge with 50 other people under the roof of a nearby house.
The waves are already downstairs, so we're all thinking that this is the end of our lives.
I always bring my Bible. I always bring my Bible. That was my armor. So when the storm hit us, I decided to open the Bible.
What was left of the town, she says, when the water finally subsided, was shocking.
You can't recognize where the place or the house before.
After the water has gone, we walk, we run, because we thought that the water will still come back.
Hernani is now being rebuilt. Girali too is preparing to move out of the emergency tent that has been her home for the past 6 months. With shelter kits provided by aid agency Plan International, her new home has a roof and will soon have walls.
At first it's very difficult, but as time goes on, of course, Filipinos are really, have a strong faith. So until now we're still fighting, surviving.
That faith and resilience is everywhere. 3 hours drive away is the city of Tacloban, one of the areas worst affected by the superstorm. The job of rebuilding here is particularly arduous. For some there, returning home won't ever be possible.
Our old house is under a boat now, so after the typhoon we built a new house over there.
Cash for Work programs have helped many get back on their feet by providing money for food and rebuilding, but locals say they are still struggling. When the storm hit, it destroyed most of the town's fishing boats too, leaving the community high and dry.
We were hoping we could get some money to start up new businesses. Because we can't sell fish anymore, our capital was washed out with the typhoon.
Slowly, a sense of normality is returning to Hernani. The local schools are being rebuilt after being badly damaged in the typhoon.
After the typhoon, we come to our school, we saw that our school is already gone, our library, our chairs, anything.
Many children stopped going to school after the storm, too traumatised to study. Jerry Lynn chose to go.
I realized that I need to go to school, because if I stop studying, I don't know what will happen to me. I don't know what will happen to my family. So I decided to go back to school even though I have heartaches.
When there is heavy rains, they would intend to go home because they are afraid of the rain.
Annie Apolado has been teaching in makeshift classrooms since the typhoon, but they're a big improvement on the conditions they faced in the immediate aftermath of the disaster.
It was very difficult for the students and even teachers having classes under the heat of the sun, and sometimes suspension of classes because of heavy rains.
Makeshift classrooms and learning spaces set up with the help of Plan International have helped a lot, but the students are looking forward to the reopening of their school. When Jerry Lynn is not at school, she helps her parents in their small store they opened after the typhoon. She also helps other children recover. But the healing process is not easy, and for many in Hernani, the memories are still very raw. When the waves swept ashore, they were so powerful, locals say, they washed bodies from graves in the local cemetery.
It's really badly affected us emotionally. We still have our trauma. We have the phobia.
More than 70 people died in this small town alone last November, over 6,000 around the Philippines. Hernani's dead are buried here, in a mass gravesite in the ruins of an old church. The victims of this storm buried alongside the 300 others who perished in the tidal waves that destroyed the town in 1897. For this community, the road to recovery will be long and slow. But there is optimism.
We know if we stick together, we help each other, we can rebuild, we can rise again, even though we are back to zero.